Greetings. I am Legacy Moon, and this is True Crime and Mysteries. Welcome back, my subscribers, and welcome to all of my returning visitors and my prospective new subscribers. Today, we are going to be reviewing a case by Judge Boyd. He is a postal worker, and he's not too honest with Judge Boyd, and it ends up costing him an additional 2 years for his dishonesty. Let's check this out.
You're on this side. Hi, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. I appreciate that. All right. Court is calling 2024 CR 0501, State of Texas versus Ernest Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record? For the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
George Sharman on behalf of the defendant.
And are you Ernest Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yeah.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? You're going to need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I did. Yes, ma'am.
Off the record. Excuse me, sir, in the green shirt. Just have a seat. We're back on the record. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
I understand.
Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
I did.
Did you understand if the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
I do, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He could. Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes,
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
he is. Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with county court cause numbers 709684, 709685. There's to be the DWI education course, VIP, ignition interlock for half the term, and you agree to forfeit the weapon and county court cause number 709684. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
I do.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I'm sorry.
Have there been any such motions?
Regarding.
Have you filed any motions in this case that have been ruled
no.
upon?
Mm-hmm.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be set at a cap of 5 years and there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
I understand.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, Not guilty or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State any evidence.
State offer states Exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
I understand.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and lab reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
I understand.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt because you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge, and I do have some comments.
All right.
After we leave here today, we're going to go down to County Court 1. We're going to accept responsibility for those matters down there. My client has taken this very seriously, and he's taken responsibility for his actions. The state did recommend a cap in this case. This is a first offense. It was a DWI initially, and this was the result of a search. What we're asking for the court to do is to allow him to have a deferred period of less than 5 years. That we're asking for 3 years because we believe that he can do well. He can demonstrate to this court that he's serious about this and that he will correct his behavior. So I'm asking if the court would consider a lower sentence of probation of 3 years.
All right, state.
Judge, due to the facts in this case, I think that 5 years is appropriate. He was found halfway in between the parking lot and the sidewalk, asleep in his vehicle with a gun in his waistband. There were several open containers of alcohol in the vehicle. Again, that's all something that's highly dangerous to the community. When he was further patted down, they found the drugs in his pant pocket. Whenever the officers began to interact with him, they saw that he was exhibiting several signs of intoxication, including the smell of intoxicants, being confused. We just think that 5 years, due to the nature of all the offenses together, would be appropriate.
All right, thank you. All right, I have a few questions for you. So how often were you using drugs?
Not very often.
Well, I mean, what does that mean?
Just, in cases where I had to have a double shift.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yes, sir.
You got to stop whispering. I don't know why people whisper in court, but when they're talking to their
I've been
friends, they're
whispering
like,
the whole time I've been here. I don't know, maybe.
all right, so maybe it's my allergies that are acting up,
Mine as well.
but speak up. You hear at the level I'm speaking?
Yes.
That's the level I need you to speak.
Okay, we'll do.
And I don't even have much bass in my voice. It's all treble. So I know you have bass in your voice. Use it, speak up so everybody can hear.
Yes, sir.
So how often were you using drugs?
Maybe once a month, if that.
Okay. So let me explain something to you.
Yes, sir.
You've already entered a plea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make a decision on whether or not to set your probation at 5 years or 3 years. That's either yes or no. You understand?
Yes.
So there's no need for you to downplay whatever is going on in your world. And let me just tell you why. I'm inclined to follow the agreement that you've reached with the state, which is to give you deferred. The only issue right now in my mind is trying to figure out how long your deferred should be. So what I can tell you is when people are not honest with me about their drug use, and that's what we're ultimately here for, that tells me where you are on the level of your sobriety. So I've read the police report, and in the police report, you were passed out. You had meth. You even admitted to the officers that you had just used some meth. So passed out in a vehicle, surrounded by alcohol, having used meth, and then have meth in your pocket, that doesn't sound like I only use once a month. So how often were you using? And most importantly, if you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
it-
You're gonna get drug tested today.
yeah,
So you need to be honest.
marijuana, of course, and then alcohol.
All right. And anything else?
No.
All right. Are you available to do a UA? All right, we're gonna come back with your sentencing once I get a UA. Do you need any water?
Sure.
Well, I mean, you say sure. Do you
Yes,
need
yes, Your Honor.
you need water or not?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So what's going to end up happening is he's going to provide a UA to the court, and then I will make a decision on your sentencing. So if you have a seat in the front row, please. All right. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to wait to go to County Court 1 until we're finished.
Yes. Okay. So as soon as he provides the UA, we'll take it up.
Okay.
All right. Claudia. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 0501, State versus Ernest Gonzalez. So, Mr. Gonzalez, you were previously under oath. You're still under oath. How many children do you have?
2 children.
What are their ages?
12 and 6.
And are you employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work for the U.S. Postal Service and for the National Association of Letter Carriers.
Okay. All right. So, your test has come back. What do you think it's positive for?
Mainly THC problems, some alcohol, and then obviously what I was charged with.
All right. So why were you up here? See, this is the thing about people in their sobriety. You already knew that I was going to follow this agreement and give you deferred adjudication, correct? You knew that.
Yes, sir.
And you still were dishonest. Now you're changing it. You told me you would not be positive for meth. You told me you're only going to be positive for marijuana and alcohol. Did I hear him incorrectly? I know my allergies are acting up, but isn't that what he said?
That is, Judge.
Isn't that what you said?
Mainly THC.
No, don't do this mainly thing. I asked you if you would be positive for meth. You told me no. And as a matter of fact, I said, how often do you use meth? And you said, not often. And I said, what does often mean? And then you said, maybe once a month. And then I said, I've read the police report. In the police report, you have meth in your pocket, you have meth in a bottle, and you have alcohol surrounding you. That doesn't sound like 1 month use to me. And then I said, well, let's wait a little bit. We're going to have you do a drug test. And I said, this tells me where you are in your sobriety. If you're going to be honest with me, that's a synopsis of our entire conversation. And then I told your attorney was right here because your attorney is asking for you to be placed on 3 years deferred adjudication. And you walked back to probation. And let me just tell you what I'm assuming happened. As you're walking back to probation, you're praying to whoever your higher power is, saying, if you let me be negative for meth, I promise I will never use again. You know what ends up happening when you do that? Sometimes your higher power will be like, okay, we're going to let you be negative. And this court usually, you know what the answer is? For your betterment, the test is going to be what it is. And so you're positive for meth. So now we're back to, how often are you using?
3 times a week.
All right. So we go from once a month to 3 times a week.
It's embarrassing. So I apologize.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Where we are in our life, hopefully this is not where we're going to be 2 or 3 days from now, or a month from now, or 2 years from now. Guess what? Every person in this courtroom, okay, we're on the record. We're on the record, talking with the court reporter while we're on the record, or the court coordinator. Here's the thing. Everybody in this courtroom are working on something in their life for improvement. Believe it or not, Stephanie Boyd is not perfect. I'm working on improving things in my life. I'm always working on my patience. I'm sure everybody in this courtroom has something they're working on in their life to be better at. And where we are now is hopefully not where we'll end up, that we will have improved on whatever we're working on. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what I'm going to do for you, part of it is punishment for being untruthful to the court. I'm going to sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. And I will tell you, when I was reading your police report and reading the steps before your counsel even said anything. You know what I had written down on the sheet of paper where I write my notes?
I can't see that.
Oh, 3 years deferred. That's what I had written. So these 2 years that you're getting on top of the 3 years, that's not your attorney's fault. That's all on you.
I accept that.
All right. So 5 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be the UA hotline. There's to be a referral to felony drug court. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And don't mix up anybody's mail. Okay. There is to be field visits 1 time per month until in treatment. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. That includes your children until further notice. So if you're going to be with your children, there needs to be another adult that is supervised. You understand? This is run concurrent with County Court Cause number 709684, 709685. You're to forfeit the weapon. And cause number 709684, DWI education course. And counsel, if in misdemeanor court they require the DWI education course, of course, that will be satisfied for this court.
Yes, Your Honor, we're going to do it concurrent with the probation in this
All
case.
right. So DWI education course, VIP live, ignition interlock for half the term. Probation, is there a $500 fine, and that will be probated? Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
Oh, and probation, in case he's not accepted in felony drug court, do a TAP evaluation and 90 sober meetings in 90 days. And if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you. Off the record, here's the thing. You want to make your children proud of you. So if you're not going to do it for yourself, being clean and sober, do it for your children, okay? And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, okay? If you need anything and you feel like probation is not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. All right, thank you.
I thank you for listening. Once again, I am Legacy Moon. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and come back and see me.